going on, guys? So today I did something not normal, something I've really actually never done before. I was randomly looking on the Xbox Live store for games that come out in the future, just to kind of peek my head around. I saw this game from an indie developer I'd never heard of before. It's a game I'd never heard of before, but just looking at it, the aesthetics, the graphics, the chiptune music, it checked a lot of boxes. It felt really nostalgic, which is crazy. Anyway, this game intrigued me, and it doesn't come out for a couple weeks. So I went ahead and you know, I did something I'd never done before. I'd actually looked up who the developer was, and found him on Twitter of all places. And I sent them a direct message. I said, hey, you know, normally I'm not reaching out to indie developers, but I'd love to check out your game. I really want to check this thing out. This thing just, I don't know, it intrigues the heck out of me. Not only did they positively respond with a code so I could check it out for you guys, but also, they're so cool. They gave me a bunch of gameplay tips, because I'm telling you, I needed them. And also, let me have some access to the OST so I could use it for this video. So that being said, let's talk about Skycadia. Hey, I do want to start off by giving a big thanks to Ian from Studio Nice. He really hooked it up with the code for this review and the music, like I said. I do want to clarify that I did get the game code for free, but I'm not getting paid to do this or anything. It just really intrigued me. I really wanted to check it out. All these views are my own. All the gameplay you're going to see is my own, of course. But anyway, without further ado, you know, look at these games I got behind me. They're all very different, right? You got Jumping Flash, Misadventures of Tron Bonne, Tail Concerto, and Crimson Skies. And you'd think, what do these four games have anything to do with this game? And I'm going to tell you, this game has the arcadey feel of Jumping Flash, has like the character aesthetic of Tron Bonne, but also really has the world aesthetic of Tail Concerto. So it's like you take three of my favorite PS1 era games and you put them together, and that's what this game feels like. But then you take the gameplay of Crimson Skies. It's kind of cool because you're taking all of these like retro things and mashing them together in this brand new game. Anyway, without further ado, let's look at some gameplay. So when you boot up the game, obviously you can instantly see the PS1 influence. You have this cool kind of bar area. See, this is what I was talking about with the characters reminding me of Tron Bonne. These guys remind me of the guys from Glide's crew from Tron Bonne, or maybe if you played Mega Man Legends 2, Glide also has a pretty big role in that game. But instantly you can kind of see that there's a bunch of different options here, as well as different stuff that you will soon be unlocking. You can see that there are characters that are locked behind earning money from the bounties, and also different kinds of shots you can earn by getting money from the bounties. So some other neat things you can do from the menu, of course, is change your controls. That's pretty standard. You can also go through like a beast area and see what enemies you have beaten, what are unlocked, what isn't, and how many of each enemy you have beaten, which is pretty neat. They also have some cool little art for the pilots, which you'd never see in the gameplay itself. Another thing I really, really like is this map. I mean, it looks really simple, nothing special to it. But, you know, you can tell that the creators really had an aesthetic they were going for, and they just absolutely nailed it. I mean, they kicked it, like, just straight out of the park with this thing. It has that PS1 era vibe, and, I mean, I don't know, you guys are looking at it right here. I mean, it's just perfectly represented, in my opinion. But then we have the gameplay. I mean, first off, this world is bright and colorful. The music is real cool. I mean, I love this chiptune stuff. Even though, you know, the PlayStation aesthetic, you know, at the time, that, you know, they could go away with CD quality music, I think this music really matches this game. I love the bright colors. I'm a huge fan just of this world in general. One thing I really like is how, if you die, every time you die, you basically start again. and you get to play like the same area of the map several times in a row before it switches. But it's cool because you get like a couple different versions of the daytime area. One has like a little town and some lighthouses, one has a bunch of islands and mountains, and you also have this really cool nighttime level. The nighttime level actually I've done better on, only because it has all these glaciers, and if you fly really low, I swear you can get the enemies to just crash into the glaciers and give yourself a little bit of advantage, because the game is, well, pretty hard. I don't know if I'm going to say it's pretty hard or if I'm bad at this kind of game, but at first I was not doing very well, but then as I progressed I got better and better, and that's kind of the name of the game. Now this game definitely has an arcade style feel, and by that I mean, you know, you play it, you die, you go back, and you get a little bit better and better and better. If you were in the arcade, you would of course be pouring your quarters into the machine. Luckily, you know, this is just a one-time purchase, but this game is great. So, you know, what kind of game is it? Well, it's basically a first-person flying shooter game. Like I said, it's a lot like Crimson Skies. The whole point of the game is to wipe out basically all the enemies. You're part of this crew of ragtag birds, and you're going against the bugs. The thing is, every different enemy has a different point value. I can't confirm this or not, but just from my playing, it seems like the further you go along, and the more enemies you hit in a row, that point value actually goes up, in my experience. So basically, you earn this money. And real simple, you earn money, get some cool upgrades, new characters, and repeat. As you get further and further, you actually end up fighting different kind of boss ships. So, you know, the game kind of starts out with just these kind of regular, like hive ships that launch these little fighters. Then later on, you get these bigger ships that come along, these kind of huge guys. They drop different kind of fighters that chase you. And then after you keep going through those, once you earn enough money or maybe kill enough enemies, I guess really they both equate to each other. The first boss I came across were these huge centipede ships, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to be able to beat one. Not because like I wasn't very good. I mean, I guess I'm still not very good. I'm not gonna profess that I'm very great at this game, but I will say that the thing that made it a lot better was unlocking a new character. So the unlockables in this game are pretty conveniently shown on the front dashboard. Basically, there's 2 more characters and there's 2 more shot types. So when you start, you have the average character, and the shot type is the rapid fire. As of recording this, and trust me, I'm going to keep playing and unlock everything, but as of recording this, the first things I've unlocked so far are the second character and the second scatter shot attack. The scatter shot attack is like a huge spray shotgun. Me personally, it's kind of useful. It's good on the big ships because you hit them so many times at once. So really 2 shots will take out any of those. But it's harder with the smaller ships because the range, you'll see, kind of drops off with all the shots. So I found myself sticking with rapid. The final upgrade of the game is the charge power shot. So I am interested to see what that happens, but I'll leave that to you guys to see. You know, I don't want to spoil everything. I will say though, the second character that I unlocked is much slower, but he does have 1 more health bar and does more damage. So in my opinion, I like the second character better, and the slowness actually helped me out because I had so many deaths where I would crash into a ship trying to just plow at it while unloading. And the fact that I was a little bit slower gave me that extra time, plus the more damage, to where I wouldn't accidentally crash myself. But you know, the gameplay is super duper simple. One joystick gets your up and down, the other joystick rolls you, and one trigger is shoot and the other trigger is boost. I mean, it does not get any more easy than that. One other little gameplay mechanic is if you get too much altitude, you will get some blur and some altitude sickness, I guess. It's kind of like their version of Redout. But you know, it's cool. It's a very simple, nuanced thing. But you know, it adds to the depth a little bit because you don't want to go too high. I will say a good strategy that I found is actually to stay low. Like I kind of said earlier, if you stay low, it seems like a high chance for some of the small fry to crash into each other, which in the beginning isn't that big of a deal. But when there's a lot of the ships that launch many enemies out, you can get overwhelmed pretty quickly. So having the advantage of being low is good. That being said, if you get too low, you can also crash in the water and, of course, destroy your ship instantly, so you definitely want to be a little careful. I do have one kind of minor little gripe, and I think this is temporary after talking with the developers. I think they are actually working on a solution, but currently you have no way of in-game checking your progress as far as how much total money you've earned to see how close you are to the next unlock. You can, however, still get this information. Now, playing on the Xbox, you go over to the game hub area for this game, and when you go down to basically like your achievements and stats area, you can see exactly how many enemies you've killed, how long you've played, and more importantly, how much money you've earned, so you can see how close you are to the next upgrade. Once again, I think in the future this is actually getting implemented in the game with maybe even an in-game leaderboard situation. I don't want to speak for the guys making it, but I think that's something they said they were working on, which is cool, because that's a little bit kind of a thing, but it's not that big of an inconvenience, especially because most of the time you're probably going to just be concentrating on having a good time anyway. But when you are close to an upgrade, you're like, oh, how many points do I need? Yeah, gotta go over here. It's kind of a weird little thing. I just thought I needed to point that out. But yeah, that's Skycadia. Like I said, I love the aesthetic. I'm a huge fan of the music. The chiptunes are fantastic. This game has that right feel, really scratched that nostalgic itch for me. And it's definitely a good time, a really cool game to enjoy with friends, and it's pretty cheap too, so it comes out on the 21st. Definitely be on the lookout if you have an Xbox. So that's Skycadia. It's going to be available on Xbox Live January 21st. It's $10. It's already available on Steam right now. Like I said, this is a great, just arcade-feely game, real fast-paced, just kind of loop through. If you're one of those achievement guys, the longest achievement on the list is like play for 5 hours, and I imagine in that amount of time, even if you're as bad as me, you'll unlock everything. It's just a really fun game. It's a cool game, I'd say, to like hang out with friends, just kind of pass the controller around, so you can get the highest score, so you can last the longest. Also, who can come up with the best strategies. I mean, there's a lot, for such a simple concept and a simple game, there's really a lot going on here. But hey, what do you guys think? Is Skycadia something that piques your interest? Does it hit that nostalgic kind of itch? Like, it definitely hit that for me. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hey, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you again, Ian, for hooking me up for this code. This game is really cool. You guys did a great job. I really can't wait to see, what you guys come up with in the future, because if you keep making games like this, I'm all in. Once again, hey, like and dislike if you feel any kind of way. Subscribe if you haven't, and take it easy.